Hello, it's me, Robin, with Simple Food, Simple Life. Guess what today is? Today is Friday Confab. Oh, thanks for joining me today, you guys. I love you guys. I really look forward to Friday Confab. I just can't help it. Well, it's been snowing here this morning, and oh, what? Oh, I know, I'm sorry. Got your coffee, got your tea, got your Coca-Cola, your Dr. Pepper. Well, you know, Dr. Pepper is so misunderstood. I have my coffee. That's delicious. Black coffee, of course. It is snowing. Well, it's not really snowing so much now. We were supposed to get snow overnight, but we didn't get it. And at 5 o'clock this morning when the dog wanted out, okay, there was no snow, but it appeared to have rained. And then it started snowing about 7 o'clock or so. And it was just kind of that wet, sloppy snow. And then it got big flakes, and I don't know. I think that it's confused. It does not know what it wants to be today. I saw this. I can't attribute it to anyone because I don't remember who said it, but years ago I saw this quote that said, "Winter is Mother Nature's way of saying up yours." And you know what? Sometimes it feels like that's true. It does. So, I chopped my hair off. The night before last, I was getting ready to go to bed. I was doing my ablutions, and I thought, I'm done. I'm done. And so I just got out the scissors and started chopping it off. And I felt so much better. I felt, like, you know, freedom, freedom. It was freedom. And it was awesome. So, and then I woke up the next morning and I feel even better. So yeah, it's okay. So much better, so much better. That's the way I do. When something is like, you know, I come to a place sometimes where it's like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. And that's the way it was with my hair. I'm done. Chop, 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 chop. Okay, that's good. And then I never look back. And I don't. Actually, most of my life I've had short hair. And it was great. I love it. I love it. It's awesome. When I was a little kid, I don't know, I must have been 7. And my older sister and I had very thick hair. Our mother had very thin hair, and she would wash our hair, you know, washed in the sink, washed, and she would have a heck of a time getting a comb through our hair, and she had to use Tame cream rinse and all this other stuff, and it was always a big battle because she wasn't very gentle. It hurt. And my sister and I were like, and it was like this big thing. And she would get upset. My mom would get upset because of our hair. And obviously, those days are over. But my dad happened to come home, and he heard this goings on, and he said, I've had it. And he told my sister and I, my older sister, he said, get in the car And there was, up the street from us, there was a beauty shop. It was owned by two maiden sisters. And back in those days, that would have been about 57. They had the Marcel waves. You can look it up if you don't know what it is, but Marcel waves. And I mean, they looked very spinsterish, but their salon was in the front of their house. And he took us down there and he said, can you cut these two girls' hair? And it was like, they said, sure. So our hair was fairly long. And my older sister, she's 4 years older than I am, she cried and cried. When they gave us these short bobs, she cried and was so upset. And because he didn't want to listen to the arguing anymore. And she was so upset and she cried and cried. It took her a long time to get over it if she ever did. And I loved it. I was like, yes! Ah! I was so happy. I felt so happy. And my hair was short and it was like, I was like, yes, I love it. And I've loved it ever since. I've tried growing it out. I've had it longer. I could put it in a French twist or whatever. And it was like, I always go back to short. So anyway, that was a hairy tale. Are you guys like that? Do you go, you just say, I've had enough. I just have enough. I don't want to deal with it anymore. And then you're done. And you have crossed the Rubicon. There's no going back. You're done now. And that can apply to many, many things. Truly, it truly can. So, I don't know what made me think of that. I hadn't thought of that in years. And so, anyway, I was loving it. It was like a whole new world opened up for Robin. I wasn't mad about it. You know what? I had one of the comments that I had on my, I want to address this. One of the comments I had on my grocery haul that I posted on Wednesday. Grocery haul, yep, I did a shop. Come see what I bought. I had a nice comment, and I wanted to talk about that a little bit. The comment is from @HTAS6888. And she made this comment, and I thought it was kind of made me think a little bit. She said, "You are healthy." She said, "You are healthy at your age, and I am your age. So I'm 74. I'm going to be 75 in June." She said, "And I am your age, and I'd say I am healthy. I do have prediabetes. My mother passed from diabetes complications at 60. Very sorry to hear that. You have our condolences. You really do. So I have that predisposition. I've had it in check for the last 12 years. I'd say I'm not very strict, but try to be careful. I am curious, have you always ate like this? You seem to eat like we used to 40 or 50 years ago. And a lot of these foods, they tell us not to eat, but you are aging great. So guess not bad, right? Just curious about your diet habits and choices to stay healthy. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I replied, thanks so much. I just eat in a sensible way. Try not to overeat and limit snacking. I think cooking my meals helps. I'm not fussy and pretty much eat what I want in moderation. So, and all that is true. Now, here's the thing about how I eat. I'm no health expert, and you know what? I'm like a lot of people. I have tried so many diets. I've tried eating a vegetarian diet. I touched on vegan diet. I've done carnivore. I've done keto. I've done Weight Watchers way back when, before the point system and all that. That was way back in, I don't know, 70s, late 70s. I am periodically, and for the most part, an intermittent faster. I try to keep it around 2 meals a day, but I'm not so strict on that I'll starve myself. If I'm feeling hungry, not peckish, but if I'm feeling hungry, I will eat, regardless of what time it is. And sometimes I might eat 3 meals a day, but I try not to eat at night, because sitting watching TV, it's sort of a trigger for me that I want to snack. I want to eat something. And I am a person who likes salty, crunchy things. I am a sucker for salty, crunchy things, like plain chips, popcorn, plain chips, and, I almost forgot, plain chips. Oh, I know, it's bad. So if I buy them, if I have them in the house, I will eat them. And I just go back and keep eating at them until they're gone. I'm not necessarily a person who craves sweet things. A bag of sugar will last me a good long while. So I just don't crave sweet things. And I'm not a person who loves chocolate. I can live without chocolate. I really don't care. I never crave chocolate. I've never craved it. What is the thing that you crave the most? Or what is the snack that is your Achilles heel? What is that you think, if I buy it, I'm going to eat it? Okay. And when I went through menopause, which thank the Lord that's over. When I went through the change, as they used to say, I was like crunchy, snacky, salty. Cans of Pringles. It was terrible. It just wasn't good. I couldn't help it. It was like I was obsessed. So that's a problem. So what is it that is your what is it, that thing that you know, if you have it in the house, it's over. You're gonna eat it, and you're gonna eat it until it is gone. Let me know, because I'm curious. If you're the same as me, maybe there's something that you absolutely love, that you know is addicting to you and that you shouldn't have. I'm like that. And then I tell myself, just roll up the bag and you're not going to, but I'll go back. I'll go back and I'll just eat it until it's gone. So I generally try not to buy those things, or if I do buy them, they're rare. So that's one way that I eat. After going through all these different ways of eating, and I always thought I'm fat. I always thought I'm fat. And all the time my kids were growing up, I thought, I'm so fat. And I look back at pictures of myself in those days, and which there aren't really that many, because I was always usually the one taking the pictures. I thought, was I ever on vacation? Because I'm not in any pictures, rarely. So I used to think that I was fat. I've seen pictures of myself back in those days, and I thought, I just felt sad, because I thought I wasn't that way at all. And I thought, how did I ever think that? I had 4 young children. I was busy, constantly busy. Their dad, my first husband, he worked swing shift, so there was no rest. There was always switching the schedules and school activities and volunteering at school. And we lived in a small community, and sometimes we only had one vehicle, and I would ride my bike to, I had a cleaning job at a church. I did cleaning for some elderly women to earn some extra money. I I had all kinds of jobs that didn't necessarily pay well, but allowed me to bring in some extra income for us. And I was constantly busy. And I look at those pictures and I think how sad that I thought that I was fat, that I was, fat and unattractive, and I thought I let so much. There was so much of my inner life that I didn't enjoy because of that, and I think that's still prevalent today, to a certain degree. So, I just decided at one point, it was really quite a few years ago, I decided I'm done with all that. I'm done. I did try the carnivore thing and I tried the keto thing, but I know it sounds bad. I guess I'm not a rule follower. I have a hard time with putting food in a category that says, oh, I can't eat that. Oh, I better not have that. Oh, I have to readjust that. It's too much for my brain to deal with every single day. And I don't want to deal with that. I'm not dealing with it. So now I've had this 10 pounds. I'm trying to take this 10 pounds off. And this is weird because the last few years, I have my ideal weight in my head, but it's like, is it really? I don't know. But the last few years, I can't seem to get below a certain amount. It just goes up to 10, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. And it's like, I'm going to do my best with it, but because I know that my joints feel better, I feel better. But frankly, I think the most important thing we can do is just stop being hogs at the trough. It's just stop being hogs at the trough. I eat one plate of food. It would be a rarity. I mean, it would be a rarity for me to go back for seconds. So I'm not an expert on anything. I do like fruit, and I like raw fruit, like that. I like bread, and I can see the value to a certain degree. I can see the value for some people in most diets. I can see it for some. My older daughter was a vegetarian for 12 years, and she began to have health issues. And she went back to eating meat and fish for her health. And she thought she was doing everything right, but she began to have issues. So I feel like it's whatever works for the individual, because I'm not a doctor. And frankly, I just feel like, how do I feel? If I eat something and I feel like garbage after I've eaten it, that's probably not a good thing for me to eat. I probably should avoid that. Even if it tasted like the best thing ever. If I feel like garbage, maybe I shouldn't have that. So I just really go by how I feel. And you know what? I am not thin. But nobody's looking at me. Nobody's looking at me. Nobody's looking at me and going, va, va, voom, yeah. Ooh. No. And I don't want somebody to look at me, okay? So, beauty, that train has left the station. And frankly, and I'm not saying this to be mean. I'm not saying it to be mean. But I am saying this. When a woman, because women you know, the makeup and all that, and the hair. And that. When a woman gets a certain age, sometimes what worked for you when you were younger no longer works, and you need to just, you know, dial it back a little bit and let go of some of those crutches that you depended on to make you look better, feel better, whatever, because as we age, they don't serve the same purpose. And there are some things that I've had to dial back on. I've never been overly inclined to do the makeup thing, to a lot of makeup, that kind of thing. But there are certain things I've given up. And one of those things is red lipstick. I know. So I've given it up. Because my lips, I've always had thin lips. I've always had thin lips. But they're even worse now that I'm old. And it's like, you know, stop clinging on to those things of the past that seem to work for you, and just let it go. And the beauty about being an older person is that you have the ability and it's like you can transition into just being yourself and and even if it's just finding your new self, that's awesome. That's an awesome way to be. And so I just enjoyed, it was a little hard at first. It was like, but I got through that. And so I feel better. I feel better psychologically. I feel better physically. And you know what? Just let go of that stuff, some of that stuff that's been it hangs on to you like barnacles. Just let go of that stuff. The people who love you are going to still love you. You don't have to keep up an image. It just frees you. And it's freedom. So that's how I feel. You may have a completely different perspective of that, and I think that's just fine. But chances are, ain't nobody looking at you. You know, they say, and I know you've heard this, they say, well, when you get older, you become invisible. Nobody cares. Nobody sees you. You just become invisible. I say, hello, yes. Thank you. Thank you. I can go in this grocery store and ain't nobody bothering me because I'm old. I'm the gray woman. I just go in there and nobody's looking. Nobody cares. And I'm telling you, there's an advantage to that. I know it sounds weird, but there really is. There is an advantage to being invisible. Okay? Except I noticed sometimes when I'm out and about, I am not invisible to babies or little children. Little children can be sitting in the cart and they will stare and stare and stare at me and just have the biggest smiles on their face. And I always smile back at them, you know, and they're like, they are the ones who see me. And I love that. I love that so very much because it just brightens the world when I see their little faces. And you know, their moms or parents, most of the time they don't even notice. But the little kid is in the cart and they're just like, and so they're so happy to see me. I don't know. Maybe I look like their grandma. Maybe that's it. But that makes my day. It does. I love it. So, okay. That's it for me today. I love you guys. You know I do. As always, you know that little is much when God is in it. And we should be grateful for that. I'm thankful that little is much when God is in it. I got to tell you real quick. I've been enjoying those organic greens I bought, those spring mix. Oh my gosh, I've eaten those every day since I bought them. They're just delicious. I have put them on everything, and they're really, really good. They were just under $5. I think they're worth every penny. They were delicious. So, oh, and I went to my sister's yesterday, my little sister, and she hooked me up. She had gone to the food pantry, but she hooked me up with some yogurt, some plain Greek yogurt, which is awesome. And what else? She had made a nice Chinese stir fry the night before, and she sent me home with some of those leftovers. And it looks good, smells good, looks delicious. So I might eat that later on this afternoon because it looks scrumptious. She actually made me a to-go box. Isn't that awesome? And we had a good visit, so that was great. So, all right. I love you guys. You know I do, as always. I already said that, didn't I? You know that little is much when God is in it. You know that. Let me know what you're up to. Talk to me in the comments and tell me what you think. And do you have those foods that you feel like you can't resist? I know. Struggle's real. All right. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.